Today we will be learning about a new feature in Config Tool. This is the auto register for a camera. This allows you to remotely add a camera from another offsite location into your Config Tool so you can control it. So step one would be open up your most recent copy of Config Tool. We can see it's the 5.001 and then with the 2 on the end there. Once you're in here, you'll go to Manual Add, go to Register, and then you want to go to the import section. So first thing you want to do is download the template for adding these devices. So you can add multiple devices at a time. In this demo, we're only going to add one. You do also require Microsoft Excel installed or WPS Office. In this case, we're using WPS Office. It's free to use. So first thing we're going to do is open up the register file. So in here we can see we've got the device ID section and then the username and password section. So to get this information, essentially what we're going to do is close out of here for a second. For this demo, we are going to use our TIOC camera. It's going to load into the TIOC. Just log into it. Going to go into settings and network, and then we're going to go to auto register. Now in this case, I already have it enabled as I've already done it for testing. So in this case, a couple things we need to know. So the IP address that we've got in here, this is the IP address of the computer that we're going to be auto registering to. It is also important that you know that you have port forwarding turn on the other computer. So in this case, we are using the external WAN IP address. And in this case, we're also using port 9501. The default ports are typically 7000 and 9500. We happen to be using port 9501 since it's already port forwarded to this IP address. So very important that in order to do this, you do have to have port forwarding already enabled so that this registration can get through the modem into the computer in question that we're adding to. Now, the last part is our sub-device ID. Sub-device ID is ultimately just something you make the decision to put in. It can be anything, the only thing that really matters is that it is a unique ID. So I've chosen 6789, 6789. So now that we know the information for the auto register, device ID will be the 6789, 6789. And then username and password would just be the username and password for this camera. Using a simple password since this is just a demo. Now, like I said, you can add multiple devices if you want to do them all at the same time. For the sake of this, we're only going to do the one. So I'm going to save the register file. I'm going to take the register file here once I close it. So we'll take the register file. Now in this case, for ease of use, I am using AnyDesk so that we can get access to the other computer to do this on. I'm just going to paste the register file over here. So this is our other computer that we're going to be doing this on. So like I mentioned, already port forwarded. So in this case, we're going to go to manual add. Let's just make sure we have the right copy of config tool open. We do. So manual add, we'll go to the register. Now in this case, since this is the computer that's going to be hosting, we do require to have the server turned on. We have to make sure that server port matches the port that we've set up here. So 9501 has to be the same over on the remote computer. The IP address we see here is just the internal IP address of the computer. So the external IP address we added before would port forward to this. So we'll go ahead, we'll turn on the server. We're going to go into import. Now we're not going to use the download this time because we've already downloaded the register template. In this case, we're just going to click on that so that we can import the file. So we'll just double click register. And in a second here, we should see that the addition of devices has happened. We've got one of one. So we'll say OK. So this will show up over in the manage devices. Now sometimes it does take a moment, but in a bit we should see the device come online here. Just going to make sure that everything's functioning over here, which it is. So this is online. So we'll give it a moment. There we go. So it's found the device. It's auto registered to it. It's going to give it a random port number. It doesn't really matter. Then we're going to go ahead, check the box, because right now it's saying not synced. We'll go ahead and click on sync. It'll give us a sync success. It is now synced. We can close out of this window. And now we can see that this device has been added into a remote config tool. So essentially now we can see everything about it the same that we would see if it was local to us. All right. So from here, you can pretty much do everything you would normally do in config tool, except in this case, you can just access it from a remote site. Hopefully this helps. Thank you.